mysterious story.
It seems that the worst section about the dark is that it always bears a resemblance, whether you are secure enough by yourself or inches away from the worst peril conceivable. Number 11. Jonathan, a YouTuber, seems to detect movement outside his home, then begins filming. Before he notices the cause of his anxiety staring back at him, he doesn't get very far.
Okay, guys, so
Jonathan must return to his house when he notices a small set of beady eyes in the darkness. I was convinced it seemed to be only a cat until I discovered other eyes in the video, such as when he comes back here. Jonathan must have had an excessively active imagination and a neighbor's cat makes him be scared, or perhaps a sightless network of nightmarish creatures is really following him in his own yard. Number 10. Lou Rock, a YouTuber, is live streaming from a rumored haunted location known only as the Yellow House. It seems that he and his friend are carefully checking around the abandoned building when they hear a faint noise and rush into a large room to conduct an investigation. It appears that the room is almost empty except for a slew of gnarled clothes hangers in the closet, which start twisting in unison, almost as though acknowledging their attendance.
There's not a window open in here.
Are they moving? It looks like they're moving.
Wow.
Because they are live streaming this, you can see for yourself that they did not need to touch the hangers. Based on what I'm about to show you, I believe that an invisible force is moving the hangers. Because there is not any wind that moves the blinds or curtains in this video, it couldn't have been a draft that moves the hangers. It appears that they go on discovering strange miscellaneous objects dispersed throughout the house, such as a rope tied to a ripped child's shoe.
It looks like somebody was hung up by their feet.
It seems that ruinous teenagers or the previous house owner in an aggressive fit of rage have punched a lot of massive holes into the wall of this room. Something draws them back into the room with blown out walls just when they begin to suspect something is seriously wrong with the kitchen.
Bad feeling in here.
Yeah, me too.
What's that?
They appear to be genuinely terrified by this point, and they don't want to go much further before the sound comes back one more time.
Alright, we're out of here.
Right now, Lou Rock is wise enough to make up his mind to leave before becoming the Yellow House's next permanent resident. Number 9. It seems that the whole Hernandez family is sitting down to eat each other in Clovis, New Mexico when something strange appears on their CCTV system. They take a closer look at the television and cannot still believe what they are seeing. There seems to be an all-white entity that appears to jog a short distance across the driveway before it vanishes one more time. It seems to be a little not clear. You can also see the movements of what appears to be a moving body. It is claimed that this is a camera glitch taking place when a jogger is putting on bright reflective clothing. However, I'm not certain whether that is true here. The Hernandez family conducted their own research and eventually, they also got in touch with someone who was knowledgeable about the neighborhood's history.
I believe it was his uncle had a house on this corner lot, and his uncle passed away.
And with this in mind, even though I believe both explanations are equally plausible, I would want to know which one you believe is correct based on your observations. It's now 5:36 a.m., hours before anyone ought to stay inside Florida's Safety Harbor Public Library. It is not until this book flies off the shelf for no apparent reason that everything appears to be placed appropriately. The following day, because the opening librarian was too astonished to discover a perfectly balanced book on the floor, they examined the security camera only to detect this weird occurrence. Even if there was any settlement and someone was standing on the other side of the shelf pulling a book to the ground, there's no way the book could have balanced perfectly on its side like that. It's as though a poltergeist purposefully placed the book in that position to arouse as much fearful misgiving as possible. And it appears to have worked again. Number 7. This CCTV video was captured somewhere in China. The camera is turned off and a flashlight is shined around a building entrance, obviously looking for something he is interested in. When they come to a halt a short time later, this creature quickly begins to escape recklessly. If you slow down the video, you will discover what many people are giving a description of as a dragon. Even though this does not appear to be distinctly possible and is most likely CGI, if this is a real spirit, I suppose it could take any form it desired, consistent of that of a dragon. Number 6. After Philip Shapiro's bedroom door is opening on its own, which makes him wake up every night, he installs a camera. Despite the fact that the door swings open as usual, this time, Philip witnesses more supernatural activity than he ever imagined possible. Despite the fact that there is no visible light source, it seems that his bedroom door still opens and a shadow plays across the wall. When the shadow passes through, keep an eye on the left side of the room actually darkens. Please let me know if this is a hint of supernatural occurrence or a result of video editing. Number 5. It appears that this old television always switches off on its own at 6:30 a.m. They begin by recording the tiny blue screen when it fades to black, and then they zoom in on the remote control, which is putting untouched on the table. I just want to explain that they seem to be in catch hold of a second remote, or the neighbor must have had a universal remote and watched TV at the same time every day. If you get rid of these likelihoods, I would have to agree that this is mystical in nature. Number 4. Tony McCluskey pulls a weighty black bag from the trunk of a car. There are the shattered remains of his sister, Gemma, inside from the previous night. It seems that the person to his right is being paid to drive him around and does not know what is happening. Keep an eye on Tony when he pulls his sister's body closer to the canal for throwing away. She never imagined that objurgation him after he had left the sink running and flooded the kitchen would have resulted in this. And I'm surprised that any trail of red was not left down the sidewalk. Maybe he had lined the inside of the bag with sponge-like material or held back until she was completely drained. There are both likelihoods being terrifying. Tony McCluskey seemed to be sentenced to 20 years in prison in part because of this video proof. His sister, an actress from the British soap opera EastEnders, regained her health little by little over several months. Number 3. Advil LLLL, a YouTuber, believes he stays alone until he listens to voices in the distance. For reasons he cannot make clear, he soon discovers himself drawn to the stairs guiding down into the basement. Even though it seems that something doesn't feel right down there, and he's not certain what it is. He speaks loudly and receives a weird and eerie response from the darkness below. If you put on headphones, you might be able to tell me what is being said here. It's almost as though they're speaking in muted tones. He's here.
Hello?
Moments later, Advil receives an undeniable confirmation that something is in the house with him.
Advil soon gets an unquestionable affirmation that there is something being in the house with him. When a dark figure passes across the doorway, it is very noticeable on the pitch-black background. It does not seem to try to ascend the stairwell and reveal its true form. Should this be true, no matter what is down there appears to want to stay down there, maybe one day picks up Advil with him. Number 2. It seems that there is a security guard that is keeping guard on the Tomás Adolfo Duco Stadium in Buenos Aires, Argentina when he discovers an easily audible commotion deep below. Even though the guard is alone and hesitant to discover the cause of the noise without assistance, the threat of losing his job urges him forward. Despite the fact that I assumed it must have been some kind of mechanical issue with the furnace, according to the following section's evidence, it was much, much worse. A breakable wooden door seems to be shut repeatedly with a bang by some intangible force. There is not anything that is on the other side. Because it seems that he never films the ground, perhaps someone hiked out of sight at the final minute. That still doesn't give an explanation of what takes place at the back of his back moments later, which I cannot make clear although I had watched many times.
La tercera vez. La tercera vez. La tercera vez.
It seems that he walks through the supply room and comes back almost too late to discover a fast-moving phantom shadow. Even if someone was concealing at the back of the door, no way would have had for them to enter secretly without the security guard noticing. Because nothing adds up, let me know what you believe occurred. Number 1. They recorded this video at night in a parking garage in West India. It appeared that there was a woman that was acting normally when what some bystanders later described as a ghost immediately attacked her. Pay close attention to this section and let me know if you think she's delusional or fighting spiritual control. Please attempt to translate as well if at all possible. I didn't give this video much thought until I discovered what appeared to be a weird supernatural disruption. There seems to be some type of fast-moving white objects popping up repeatedly during the most difficult times of her struggle, such as here. Because of the poor camera quality, it's difficult to tell if these are spirit orbs or just insects. Should these be just insects, I feel that it is strange that there are so few of them, and that they only emerge at key points in the video when she is extremely anxious. Thanks for checking out this video. Be sure to subscribe because I upload a new video every day. Or if you're still not convinced, here are some of my other videos that I think you'd like. Enjoy.